Greetings, friends. I've appeared, or reappeared, or who knows what the fuck I just did. Who knows. In any case, greetings, Jellord here, back at you, coming at you real hard now, harder than I've ever come before, we'll say. Lots happened. I haven't streamed in a couple of weeks now, a few weeks. There's a reason for it. I've been pretty busy, and I mean, I'm not too hard pressed to get back to the 0 people that watch, but I do this for me. It's for my own amusement. It's for my fun. Keeps me and my hobby, I don't know, it helps me organize my hobby, let's say. I got new spectacles. That's exciting. I made a little short video about how you shouldn't fucking pay for optometrists. Because they're a fucking ripoff. Actually, just doctors in general are a ripoff, really. They don't want to make you better, because if you get better, that means they lost a customer, right? Hopefully everybody knows this by now, but I don't usually stream during the day, so there's a bit more glare than usual on my spectacles, but I think we'll live. You guys don't have to see my beautiful eyes. So still kind of waiting for the Superstation Plus to pop up, to come to me. I did see that there's a front end for it already, which is pretty sick. Excited about that. You can start scraping for thumbnails and shit. So that's pretty cool. It's good to hear. Since last time I streamed, I think the last time I talked about Mortal Kombat. You know what? Like, as per usual, the usual. I don't know if it's a ritual now, but every time I start one of these streams, I forget something. I forget some shit. So I end up getting up and grabbing it and then coming back and sitting down. But I hope everybody's doing good. I hope everybody's having a good summer so far. I'm having a good summer. I've been walking like crazy. Like, my job is like 3 miles away from my house, and I walk there and back like every day. And so like I'm like a catering chef, so basically I just walk to the little kitchen that I work in, or I walk to the store and then go to the kitchen, and then I walk home, and I'm averaging about 6 miles a day. I'm pretty happy about that. I've been doing like 30 or more miles a week. It's kind of crazy. I think I'm blowing up my mic a little bit, but I like turn it down like 1 notch because I keep red zoning. And you know, this is a practice channel, so I'm learning things. I do have a few new posters and stuff, and if those with the keen eye would have seen that, I had a new intro. Let's see if I can skip to the spot. Yeah, I got some new posters and stuff up. You can see in the background there, if I kind of tilt up a little bit of my arcade, I got a laminated Final Fantasy III poster that actually normally comes in the box, which is kind of ironic. It's like, it's the only thing I'm missing out of the box. But since it's laminated, I can't really use it to complete my copy. But it's still fucking sick, so I'm happy about it. Also, I have like an NBA Jam similar poster. I think it came out of the game, over on the wall over there. And then the coolest thing is the same guy. It's my brother's neighbor. He hooked me up with these cool Final Fantasy posters from the original Final Fantasy with all the enemies and the game maps, which is pretty fucking sick. but I can kind of show you guys some of the other stuff that's over here too. I did a video about that little controller. That thing's fucking awesome. If you want to play some, if you want to play emulators on your phone or any premium games that let you use a controller, it's pretty sick, gotta say. But yeah, I created a new intro today. Pretty happy about that. I'm getting pretty good at it. Didn't take me that long to do it. Kind of happy about that. Ooh, shit. You know what else I forgot? I mean, I have to forget a few things, otherwise it won't be a proper live stream. Yeah, what the hell? What the hell? I gotta grab my notes, right? I gotta talk to the people about the shit. Let's see here. Yeah, last week we talked all about Mortal Kombat. Not last week, 3 weeks ago, my bad. We'll see how brutal I'm willing to get with what the topics that I wrote about today. I mean, I don't even have an audience, so it doesn't matter if I I can't get demonetized. I'm not monetized, so it doesn't really matter what I say. I guess the only way it could matter is if it somehow got back to coworkers or something stupid like that. So always got to be careful. Always got to be a little careful. Can't really truly share your opinions in a live forum like this unless you're fully committed to the medium and making a living doing it. Even then, you're still prancing a fine line, walking the razor's edge. All right, so maybe I'll start in reverse today. I usually end with pickups. I think today I'll start with pickups, talk a little bit about them. One of the pickups is Rengoku. A Konami game. Well, that's part of the allure, because like I still like to go to the fucking game store and just not really knowing anything about a game, just fucking buy it. And this game was $10, and I'm like, man, Konami, hell yeah. And the PSP, dude, is known for having some excellent $10 to $15 range games. Like there's a ton of, if your budget is between 10 and like let's say $30, you can get most of the good games on the PSP library. And if you up your budget up to $50, you can pretty much get anything that you want. Build your own little library of your favorite titles. PSP is one of the best handhelds. Jeez, it's one of the best systems of all time, honestly. PSP is fucking remarkable. Yeah, Rengoku, man. This game is weird as fuck. And those of you who have played it, you know what I'm talking about. But it's basically, it's a mystery dungeon. There's a sequel to it I just saw online. But it's basically a mystery dungeon game where you're ascending a tower, hence the name Tower of Purgatory. I mean, already it's giving me like Baroque vibes, you know what I'm saying? Excuse me. And yeah, already it's giving me Baroque vibes, and the game does have some Baroque vibes, both in the graphics and just kind of the I don't know, the ambiance of it, I guess you could say, the vibes. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, the vibes of the game, it kind of reminds me of Baroque, but basically what it is like you're going to a floor that's like Mystery Dungeon style. You can pop up the map like you could in any Mystery Dungeon game. Let's say As Your Dreams, I've been playing that lately. All-time favorite for me. Also, all-time I'm having a brain fart here. It's an all-time backlog for me, man. Like I got to the top floor. I got to the 40th floor one time in As Your Dreams, but I never looked anything up about it because I just didn't want to. And fuck, dude, I didn't know shit about the familiar system and powering up your familiars and doing the fusions to make them more powerful. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been so grueling just to make it to the 40th floor and just fucking lose. But if I would have known about the way you can make just such OP familiars from fusions, I would have whooped so much ass in all the time I spent grinding and not. Anyway, this was like when I was a kid and shit. So, and for a long time, I kind of put the game down. Didn't have the title for a long time because actually it was weird. My brother and I were walking to a friend's house, and it like somehow fell out of his bag or some shit at some point. We lost the game. And then I didn't play it for years and years and years. Finally, I bought it again. And I didn't make it as far as I did at the time that I was a kid, but I still made it pretty far. I made it up into the upper levels of the game. But I was getting my fucking ass kicked, and it seemed like the grind was crazy. I still didn't bother looking up anything about it. Sometimes you just have to look some shit up, and believe me, it's some convoluted ass shit doing the fusions in that game. But I'm getting off topic here. Rengoku, man. This game's wild. Like, you play as a fucking cyborg that's made out of nanomachines, because whenever you die, you liquefy and restart on the first floor. So even the fact that they bother explaining that and making your death part of the lore. And apparently you're part of some fucking Smash TV style television show, because, like, there was some huge war where they were having these nanomachine androids fucking battling each other, and they got so powerful that they could just, like, one of them could destroy a whole city. So, like, they didn't even have to fight with humans anymore or whatever. And then war was over, and these things were too dangerous apparently, so they fucking built a tower and they just run them in there to fight each other. And it's like crazy Running Man battle arena shit, and you're one of the androids. You have some fucked up memories, of course. Anyway, the crazy thing about it is, like, you can equip a weapon to your left hand, your right hand, and your fucking head. And you don't just, like, hold these weapons, it just becomes your arm. So you'll just have a sword arm or a gun arm or a hammer arm. But the same applies for your fucking head. You'll have a hammer head, a fucking, like, 6-shooter looking revolver gun head. Like, just already that side of it is goofy as fuck. And here's the thing. You can have a fucking sword head, okay? And and with the sword head, you'll be like, you use it and you'll be like charging motherfuckers and plowing into them with your sword head, and it's really useful and hilarious. And then you just sit there and shoot the guns. It's pretty fun. It's, I don't know, wild game. And you kind of make your way up the floors till you get to like a rest floor where you get to rest, craft weapons and shit, and then, you know, keep moving. I like it so far. Definitely worth the $10 buy. If I end up beating it, I'll buy the sequel, because the sequel's going for like $18. I might end up just buying the sequel anyway for fucking shits and giggles, just to have it on the shelf. You know, I always like to have some games in the side wings here, who, you know, like, come across them on a rainy day and be like, what the fuck is this? Maybe forget I even own it, you know? Sometimes that's fun too. All right, so Rengoku, crazy game. We're moving along with the handhelds. I got the R-Type shirt on today in case anybody gives a shit. And for a reason, because I have R-Type for the fucking original Game Boy, man. Played this game as a kid. I don't remember if I owned it for a brief period. I can't remember. Like, I might have. I do remember playing it for a while, and then yeah, then it went away. I like it got lost in the fray, and it's an awesome game for the Game Boy. It's pretty impressive graphically. Some of the shit they were able to pull off in that game. I'm waiting for the DX version. I let my local game store. I told them to let me know if they get a copy of the DX version pop in. I'm gonna go scoop it up. Another couple of pickups. We have my guy, the original Mega Man. And then we got Mega Man 2, man. And, all right, like, I don't know if the noise canceling. I turned the noise canceling off on my mic. So, like, hopefully you can hear this. But so many of these songs, like, they didn't have to go this hard, you know? But they did. Yeah. I don't know if that's coming through on the mic, but it's weird. It's oddly, it's dramatic, but oddly has like a sad tone, sad quality. So yeah, really happy about starting my little collection of Mega Man 1 and 2 on the Game Boy. The others are pretty expensive, but we'll give it time. I'll get my hands on them. Cheaper ones first, and then the crazier ones later. Did get my hands on Mega Man 2. So, I mean, I own all the collections, you know, going from the PS2 forward, and I have all the X games for the SNES. But as it stands, I have Mega Man 2, 3, 4, and 6. I'm missing 1 and 5, which are pretty much the most expensive ones, I think. 6 is up there. But those are the pricier ones. I'll get my hands on them. They're only like 100 and 160, I think, right now. Floating around there, floating around. I'm trying to remember if there was anything else. I don't think there was anything cartridge-wise besides the handhelds. Let me see here. Picked up Front Mission Evolved for $10. For all intents and purposes, most people thought this game sucked. I like it. I typically don't like third-person shooters, but most of the game's mecha-oriented, which I like, and you can fully customize your machine. And the thing is, it's like, it kind of brings to life all the different units from the original games. And I really like it because I jump in, I recognize the machines, I already kind of know what they do and what they're good at, and it actually informs your gameplay having played the other game. So I'm really enjoying it. This is my kind of action game. This is a spin-off of a strategy game that I already like. Also, got myself a copy of Armored Core 4. So once I finish my 3rd or 4th playthrough of Armored Core 4 Answer, I'll be moving on to Armored Core 4. And at that point, that means I'll beat every mainline Armored Core game. So I'll just have to move on to... excuse me, I'll have to move on to the extra ones, even though I beat quite a few of those as well. Also, I have been playing Enchanted Arms. Wanted to mention that. That is the From Software RPG. You can see it on the back here. Bing, 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 bing. From Software. Oh man, here's your answer on what it's like. Unlock over 125 controllable creatures. It is like an adult Pokemon, I would say. It's kind of like Persona, I guess. Like, you have your party members, and then there's all sorts of enemies in the game, but a lot of the enemies are golems that you fight. And you can capture these golems, make them your own. They have their own distinct little move set. The combat is grid-based, so like it's a pseudo-tactical combat system. I think the grid is like 5x5 on each side, if I'm not mistaken. Something like that. I like it. It's cool. I'm enjoying it. I do like the PS3 graphics. Something about PS3 graphics I love. That was the time of my life, the whole PS3 life cycle. I was like a bartender living upstairs from one of those popular bars in my hometown, and like my whole days and nights were just like boozing with friends, working at the bar, and then on like Sundays and Mondays, I'd usually kind of have off, so those would be my gaming days, and I'd be hitting the PS3, playing an Armored Core Verdict Day, crazy with friends online, playing games with my neighbor, back when I hung out with people. Good times. You never know. You could be in the best times of your life. Even though I don't know, I wouldn't say those are the best times of my life, but they're up there, they're in the running, right? Another pickup for me, besides a sick-ass movie set, RoboCop DVD set of the first 3 RoboCop movies. Pretty happy about that pickup. $5 at Walmart, dog. Can't go wrong. I also picked up, because I've been curious about this series for a while. I could watch this on Crunchyroll, but you all know me. I would rather collect it physically if I'm going to do it. You know, I might as well do it big. So, yeah, I'm about halfway through it. I'll say preliminary thoughts. Once I finish it, I'll definitely, like, mention it in a live stream. I like it. A little bit of girl boss bullshit, I will say. But with anime, it can't... You know, it's not really, like, woke. It's not coming from some political ideology. It's more like fetishistic bullshit, where they're just, like, fetishize these female characters. So a lot of the story is just, like, fetishizing these female characters and just how epically awesome, badass, how just downright bad and dirty, hard, fucking badass that they are. Badass bitches. And it's just, fuck me, dude. I'm so tired of that shit. Just put me in a fucking hole and cover me in dirt. I'm tired of badass bitches. But anyway, I let it slide a little bit when I'm watching anime, or when I'm playing like an anime-centric video game, because I know that usually it's not woke shit unless the translators I have been infested, hijacked by shitty motherfuckers like Sweet Baby and stuff like that. You know, all the companies that have infiltrated the game industry under the guise of being consultants and interpreters, when in reality they're just there to push propaganda, ruin IPs, destroy them, turn them into vehicles for their weird ideologies, and trying to normalize their own fetishistic madness. It's all fucked. Anyway, I'm more apt to give a pass on some anime like badass girl bullshit, because they more fetishize these badass girls. Like they want these big bad bitches to like stomp on their balls and beat them up and like cuck them, you know? That's kind of the way the Japanese like it. So it's like, whatever. That's the angle. It's not so much like this empowering horse shit, like, you know, just antinatalism and shit like that, like we have in the West. It's not that angle of feminism and the glory of womanhood. It's more fetishistic. I don't like either, to be real. I don't like the Mary Sue, and I don't like the fetishized badass in anime in the Japanese side of things. I don't particularly like either, but it's like, unfortunately, like that trope is just it's all over our shit and it's all over their shit, but it's there for different reasons. And it's lame. So it's like, if you're gonna be into anime, that's one of those tropes you just have to deal with. Just like the underdog, like ever since Naruto became so popular, the whole underdog trope like took over the scene. Yeah. Same with the isekai. Jesus Christ. I mean, that shit's been around for a while, but it fucking got real popular. Underdog isekai. The fucking dipshit with the shittiest skill becomes the most badass, bad man. Stupid fucking typical bullshit. So yeah, we'll see. I kind of like From the Abyss, or Made in the Abyss, Made in Abyss. It would make more sense if it was like From the Abyss, because that's like where the boy came from. I guess maybe he was made down there, so it would make more sense if it was Made in the Abyss. But Made in Abyss, I don't know. That sounds like some bad translation shit, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe somebody will correct me if they ever watch this shit. All right, so that is pickups there. I got that out of the way. Kind of took longer than anticipated. The couple of other things I wanted to go over. Obviously, I'll probably talk a little bit about the Nintendo Direct. And I've already kind of touched on it, but the whole female protagonist, I feel like everybody's got a bit of the female protagonist like fatigue, let's say, even though that's kind of an overused word lately, like slop and fatigue have just been like way overused, I would say. But I mean, whatever. We've got this new God of War game. God of War. Everybody's calling it God of War. Laundry, Lofi, whatever. Ugly, weird looking, uncanny valley ass looking bitch over here. Okay, so a lot of people. I mean, I kind of low key thought the whole PlayStation Direct was like just balls. I can't even fucking remember any of it at this point. I guess I don't give a shit. I have it pulled up. I have PlayStation pulled up their channel on YouTube and all the trailers are there. I might go through it, take a look. I don't know. But everybody's like up in arms about this shit. And I mean, I have a little bit to say because I mean, if you've watched any of the crap on my channel, like I'm usually like huffing and puffing whenever there's a female protagonist. Like if I see a game that looks interesting and then boom, female protagonist, I'm just like, yeah, fuck this, I'm not doing it. I still will under the right circumstances if it's not completely idiotic, but like I for the most part, that's going to be something that turns me away, especially if it smacks or stinks of like girl power even a fucking tiny bit. I'm all the fuck the way out of there. So I would never give a shit about this in the first place. But my point is there's a way to do this. There's a way to have female protagonists without making them into men. Because that's all it is every time. It's like they're just taking these female characters and trying to put them in the role of what has traditionally been a male character in gaming. And like, I'm not going to play any number games with people. I don't give a shit. I know that 95% of gamers are dudes. So like, all of this lip service, all this horse shit, like, about it being 50-50, I'm never going to believe it, man. Because girls play phone games. Everybody plays phone games. Phone games don't fucking count. I'm talking about console gamers, dude. You're not going to be playing God of War on your fucking phone. You might play some version of it. Sure, great. Good for you. I don't give a fuck. There's exceptions. I don't care. I'm talking about console gaming. Like, everything has to be hijacked now. And even though I don't give a shit about God of War, you would think that they've learned their lesson. But here's the thing: there was so much shit. That's pretty funny. There was so much shit that was already in the pipe. Look, they have to do this feet thing. Like, ugh, goddamn. There was so much shit in the pipeline. Why is this pear-shaped woman even working on this game? Like, there's so much shit in the pipeline that they needed to just get out. It's like a huge fucking constipated shit of woke games for all these companies. And like, they put so much into it that they have to just push it out and hopefully break even so they can move on to the next cultural paradigm, which is fucking stupid that they're trying to ride any political waves ever, because you're gonna lose money, dude, because by the time your game hits market, that political wave is either over or been demonized. So like, it's either the pendulum swung the other way and the wave is over, or that shit is so far swung the other way that it's demonized and people will actively hate your game by the time it comes out. So like, what we're witnessing now, and especially that's how I'd classify like the Xbox Direct. I'm going to call them all Directs because fuck them. They're just copying their showcases, okay? Like, all of them were pretty much just shitting out their fucking the last of their shitty woke games, and that's what this is. Like, they've been working on this for fucking years. They can't just turn around and change it, you know? And this game probably could have been cool if it was a spin-off So if the title was not God of War, Luffy, or however the fuck you say this stupid bitch's name, if it was just her name and then I don't know, a God of War story, or mention that it takes place in the God of War universe, I don't fucking know, dude. But don't make it a mainline God of War, because then you're just fucking hijacking it. Everybody knows what you're doing. Everybody knows what's being done here, and you're trying to slide this one in like it's not gonna work. This shit's gonna fail. The moment I saw it, the moment, like, there's gonna be some diehard fucking mouth breathing morons, normies who probably will buy this game and defend it. There always are. There's always people who defend the game, and it's whatever, dude. Like, I played Forspoken when it came out. I bought it because there was no other fucking PS5 games that were exclusive at the time, and there was nothing out that actually utilized the PS5's capabilities at the time. So I just bought that game and played through it because there was nothing else. And I wanted to feel like I was playing my new console, you know? I ended up liking the gameplay of Forspoken. I almost platinumed it. I did everything up until the DLC, because I got so gayed out by the DLC. It was so bad that Tanta's fucking God, it was so funny. Basically, dude, you just like run around as this soldier lady whose mind you somehow take over in the past, and you just like follow your mom around and like gush at what a badass she is. And then all your special abilities is you asking her to cast her big, naughty, bad mommy spells on people for you. And it's like, fuck you, dude. It was so fucking lame. But I will say I did like running around the huge landscapes, doing the parkour. One day I'll make a video about a controversial video about why I didn't mind Forspoken. I love that there's this glitch in the middle of this video. That's pretty great. But here's the thing, like, everybody's super tired of this shit. Everybody's tired of the female. Like, if you're gonna have a female protagonist, make her sexy. I'm sorry, like, that's just how it works. Since 95% of gamers are male, you should have her have a really nice ass, because that's what you're gonna be staring at for most of the game if it's third person. She should have a pretty face, nice ass, give or take giant tits. Doesn't have to be, people you can't account for taste, and everybody there's a whole rainbow of what people like. But so that's optional, I would say. But most dudes that I've ever spoken to, and I've talked to a lot of gamers, man, and I've read a lot of gamers' comments. I got fucking 30 years plus of gaming observation, observing others, whatever, anecdotal evidence, I guess. But most guys pick a female character in an MMO because they'd rather stare at a chick's ass than a dude's ass for 150 hours. And that's like the number one reason why a lot of them pick female characters, guys that play MMOs. The other reason being is you can get other guys to give you free shit if you can convince them you're a chick, or if you have some kind of way to modulate your voice and you convince them you're a girl, they'll treat you different. So those are the reasons dudes pick girls in games, in case anybody needed to know. And it's really funny that the actress looks actually like better than this lady in this game. So, and she's still 40, so it's like, whatever. But I think, who was it? Asmongold said it best. With like, nobody wants to play as a 40-year-old woman in a video game, dude. It's a video game. The whole idea of video games, it's not the whole idea, but a big part of it is like fantasy fulfillment, man. Fantasy fulfillment and challenging your mind. Those are like, and challenging your mind and your dexterity. Those three things are like your manual dexterity, I should say. Those three things are like the trifecta of gaming, okay? And I don't know. I feel that there is no fantasy fulfillment here, and there's not enough female gamers that, like, women don't sit around and like fantasize. Like, some do, but the exception can't be the rule. You know, like, you can't build any kind of system with just exceptions, because then you'd have a rule for every individual person, and that's no way to organize any system. So it's just like, sometimes there's some women who want this sort of shit. Sure, I believe it. They're out there. I just don't know them, you know? And um that's good on them. But for me, sorry, I'm just moving this a little bit. For me, I don't want it, and everybody I talk to doesn't want it, right? And I think sooner or later they're just gonna have to come to terms with this shit, like that most gamers are dudes and they don't want this crap. Like, this is gonna sink this series, just like Rey in the new Star Wars, she sank that. This is gonna be sunk. Ghost of Tsushima sunk. They're gonna sink everything by hijacking these series with like 40-year-old moms and shit. I don't really like I brought this up before on the channel. Like, one way to do it right, do a game with a female protagonist. Like, first of all, don't hijack. Rule number one: don't hijack another IP. Don't hijack an IP for your bullshit. Like, that's the first rule. Create something new, or at least make it really clear that it's a spin-off of a character in the existing IP and not a mainline. So I would say, if you're going to do this, you should create an original character. Sure, you can use the same universe, but keep it away from the main character. You're not trying to steal the stage from them, you know? Like, your main line should stay the same, and then you can have spin-offs. Great, but make sure it's a spin-off, and don't make it the same style of game. Don't make it like, ooh, and the spin-off is like, she's just a lady, but she's gonna be doing what Kratos does. So it's the same game. Like, oh, okay, so what's the moral of the story again? These female characters, or any of these characters that they use to hijack anything, whether it be a female role or some ethnic person, like, basically the rule of thumb, or I should say the story being told through these actions, is that they can't stand on their own. They have to be an insert. Like, if you can't make this character stand on their own and you have to insert them, then they're not good enough to be a main character. That's what I would say. That's what I would argue. Man, this is an ass trailer. Like, is something malfunctioning, or because it's all dark. Yeah, this looks fucking stupid as fuck. Yeah, so moral of the story here is, apparently shit's not good enough to stand on its own, so you got to hijack something. And everybody knows that's what's happening, so it's already fucked. Like, nobody wants this. And I mean, I'm not even a God of War fan, but it's just, I'm not a fan of series getting hijacked for political reasons, for them to push an agenda. Like, it's so weird to me that all these people got into gaming and working on games and stuff with their garbage degrees because they couldn't do anything else, so they had to jump into this industry. And it's an industry where you're allowed to write shit still, so without much oversight, apparently. But I just don't understand how they think that they can make a game and then they're just going to like hijack an IP and still think that they're going to be able to choose their audience. Like they'll say silly things like this isn't for you, and it's like, no, this is for the God of War audience. So that includes everybody who's played the God of War game. So it is for you. It's just that that's a convenient little thing that they say in order to pretend like they're still actually doing their job. And not actually just alienating their player base in the hopes of acquiring some new player base who never had an interest in this style of game to begin with. Like, there's no women who are going to be interested in this. There's no women who want this. Like, look how stupid it looks even. Like, this bitch, her skinny ass arms and legs, she's almost fucking naked. She's basically wearing a nightie fighting these guys. Like, I don't think, like, your mom might look like this while she's tucking you in, you know, like when you're fucking 7 years old. Like, nothing screams badass about this to me at all. And there's no fantasy fulfillment here. None of this, dude. Now she's gonna get some armor. Oh boy. I don't know. I don't have much else to say about it. Like, I think I speak for a lot of guys when I say badass women like do nothing for men unless it's like a real sexy lady like Stellar Blade, you know, like a badass hot anime chick. Dudes will be into that. But when it's like a 40-year-old mom who's trying to prove that women can do anything men can do, yeah, that you're lost. You lost everybody on that one. You're going to lose about 90% of that 95% of the male audience. And you're not going to sustain yourself on 5% worth of cucks and beta males. Like, I can't imagine. Like I said before, there's a way to do it. Like, two of my favorite games, Ender Lilies, Ender Magnolia, another game, Witch Spring R, some of the Monogatari games, like Nier Automata. None of these are hijacked IPs, and like, even Nier Automata, it's like they established right away everybody's a fucking android, so everybody's a badass, so it doesn't fucking matter, male or female. Plus, they're not all modeled to look like 40-year-old women, so it works. Crazy. Witch Spring R is a fun game where you play as a witch, and yeah, you can do melee attacks, but you're like beating people up with your wand and your familiar that's with you. You're not doing backflips, you're not air juggling people, you're not doing all this crazy shit. You can do a magic build or you can do a weapon build, but none of it is like cinematic badass. It's just a fun turn-based strategic role-playing game with cute characters, female protagonist. You can always go the cute route and make it something fun like that. And then you might actually draw some girls then. You might actually draw a few girls to play the fucking game. Like you do with Pokemon Pokepedia or Pokepokia or whatever the fuck that stupid piece of shit lame-ass new game is. Women love that shit. So it's like, if you're making a more cutesy game, anime style, yeah, I like it. It's cool. I can dig it because you're not trying to like make a girl boss and whatever. So it can be done. Like in a game like Ender Lilies where you literally play as like a little girl who's like, I don't know, I think she's like 10 or 12. She can't do shit. Eventually she gets like a double jump, which is basically just magic for her. And instead of like diving like you would imagine a little girl dives to like dive out of the way of attacks, eventually you get a dash movement, but that's also like portrayed as magic. Otherwise, everything else in the game is it's various spirits you acquire that are your attacks and you level them up. Like you get this soldier spirit early on who kind of becomes a close character, like becomes close to the main character. That's like your basic slash attack. And you can level them up, whatever. But all of your attacks in the game are like that. These spirits are like protecting this little girl. That kind of shit I can get behind. It's cool. They're not trying to make her out like to be a girl boss. Nothing like that. She uses power, like she uses other characters to help her. It's a cool concept. Like not every game has to be with a main character that's a female protagonist has to be some character that's like a badass doing all the stuff that these male protagonists do. You can do that once in a while and it works, but like nowadays it's fucking everything and they're hijacking pre-established IPs and it just doesn't work. And like women being tough or masculine for most guys in games is cringe and it's like embarrassing. Like this shit here, the face she's making like while this demon's grabbing her and stuff, that shit's cringe, dude. Like these weird showing her teeth and shit like that, like what she's doing, like that shit's just like gross. I'm not thinking to myself like, oh yeah, girl, you're such a badass. And like, I don't think there's any women watching this either who feel that way about it. Like, they're probably like, why the fuck does she look that way? Like, and oh god, let me guess. Here comes the girl boss to fucking tell the demon how it's done. I don't even give a shit. But yeah, it's women being masculine and like badass. It's mostly cringe and just embarrassing. And at this point, it just pisses me off. I'm so tired of it. Like I said, men play games. They enjoy the power fantasy side of it. I know women don't have the same kind of power fantasy, and I know like more feminized men don't like these types of games either. And the thing is, it's really, you know, they love to say it all the time. It's not for them, you know, or these types of games shouldn't be for them. But people got in the right places where they hijacked this shit and they convinced. I don't know how the fuck they convinced the powers that be to just lose so much money, you know, like look at this. Like she looks so fucking stupid and like kind of gross. This is like a scene out of a domestic dispute right here, dude. Like with her aged looking ass. Yeah, like for the most part, I've abandoned most major franchises. Oh, she's so badass. She's crying. Or she's laughing. What a badass. She's so tough and so hard. Let's see. I abandoned most major franchises. Anything that's remotely got this girl boss shit, it's like I'm good. I don't need it. I'm out. I don't need to play it. This game's gonna flop just like Ghost of Tsushima, all that fucking crap. It's like I said. This is like a weird bad dump. They have to like push all this out. And then they can start actually trying to tap into the real market again instead of this make-believe market that they all made up in their heads, hoping that these people were actually out there or somehow there would be a cultural paradigm shift and everybody would just like accept this weird fetishistic ideology, this system of ideals, whammon bosses and all this fucking shit. Like, I don't know what made them think that everything was going to change so drastically and that people were just going to want these games. Like our whole society would have shifted so much that this would be the appeal. It's crazy to me, but whatever. We're probably going to have a couple more years of trash like this coming out because they've crossed the Rubicon on as far as like the development. The stage in development that they're in, they've crossed the Rubicon, you know, like they've gotten too far into development. They have to keep going and they have to hope to at least break even. And they're probably not going to, but they have to hope. Let's see here. The stage in development that they're in, they've crossed the Rubicon, you know, like, all right, cool. Yeah, so at this point, and it's like a lot of movies that have been coming out that they've been working on for a while. Like, I can only imagine what's going on with this stupid ass Doomsday movie. It sounds like a fucking nightmare behind the scenes, but I doubt they're going to be able to fix it because this shit it's like Infinity Wars came out like right when the girl boss shit and wokeism and leftism and all of the weird fetishistic ideologies really started ramping up, leading up into COVID and all of that crap and the mega brainwashing times. But like that, like, now we're at another point where this movie's coming out right in the midst of a cultural paradigm shift as well, because back then the power was swinging in the direction of, like, I don't know who was in control of that shit, but the powers that be, the evil forces, I guess, that want us all to eat bugs. But, like, now this new movie is coming out in the midst of a paradigm shift, and they're basically having to refilm half of it because of that, because they're probably trying to avoid some of the, like, obvious pitfalls that are just going to tank it. and I think with a lot of these game studios, it's the same. It's probably too late for them to, like, change the main character for God of War, so they have to go with it now. They have to follow through. Probably start producing a new game as soon as they can. Here's the thing, they don't let any of these franchises rest, man. They don't let any of these fucking franchises rest. It's like as soon as they're done putting one out, they have to start work on the next one. And I don't get that, man. Like, Final Fantasy's been like that. God of War, Assassin's Creed, like, every fucking game franchise that does remotely good, it's like they have to immediately, like, From Software doesn't do this. Like, I feel like people need to pay attention. It's like the furthest From Software really goes is, like, so far, is like 3 iterations of the same game. And when it comes to something like Armored Core, since they come out with multiple, like, each generation, they'll come out with a new Armored Core, usually 2, with the exception of PS1. There'll be 2 iterations of Armored Core that usually have other versions that released. So you have Armored Core 2, Armored Core 2, Another Age. Anyway, my point being is From Software was more like back in the day dropping DLC than dropping new games. And they were at least waiting once each console generation. Like, Dark Souls came out, and then Dark Souls 2 came out, and then I believe we made the jump from PS3 to PS4 when Dark Souls 3 came out. And if I'm not mistaken, and I might be wrong about that, it's been a minute, but they only went up to 3, man, and they stopped. And they're like, we're not making any more Dark Souls games. Then they made Bloodborne, they made Sekiro, and then they went back to Armored Core. And I bet you they'll probably do another Armored Core, I'm hoping, this console generation, and then they'll probably do one next console generation. And who knows what's next for them. They'll probably make another Souls-like game, I would bet, but it's probably not going to be Elden Ring or Dark Souls. Point being, and I'm getting a little tangential here, but point being, they're one of the most successful game companies out there right now. And their strategy isn't to immediately start producing the next sequel that's going to take you 4 years to make. They mix it up. They try to make new shit. And I think other companies really need to fucking do this, man. Or they should at least jump around their IPs a little bit. If they have other stuff to work on, they should work on it. Like, I don't even know what the fuck else. Like, what is God of War? Like, who the fuck, what company makes God of War again? Is it just Sony? Santa Monica Studio? Like, dude, Sony, just make something else, man. Or here's a crazy thought. Make a new IP. Try a new IP, and if it doesn't work, just have it be a one-off. Look how well Astrobot did. And, like, that just goes to show you that people are hungry for new IPs, but they never interpret that shit correctly. They always fuck up the interpretation of whatever success they accidentally mash out. And I mean, all these companies, that's like the PlayStation Showcase was fucking garbage. The PlayStation Showcase was trash. The Xbox Showcase was trash. I didn't give a shit about fuck all any of it, man. I'm just kind of going through the list here. Sea of Remnants, don't give a shit. Gothic 1 Remake, don't care. Gen Atlas looks cool because I love Shadow of the Colossus. That's pretty much that's where I'm at with Gen Atlas. They made Shadow of the Colossus and Ico and The Last Guardian, all of that shit. So that game is looking to be pretty cool. But I think that's the only one I give a shit about. Let me see. Blood Messenger, don't care. Oh yeah, Gundam Rogue Orbit looks fucking sick. I will say that. Gundam Rogue Orbit does look cool. Wolverine, no, I don't give a shit. Until Dawn 2, don't give a shit. Tomb Raider, don't give a shit. Yeah. No, Kingdom Hearts, don't give a shit, dude. Tales of Eternia, I have the original on the PS1. I never finished the game or like played it. It was a gift. I never got around to like really playing it much. I know that it's not actually a Tales game. So I'm kind of curious. Or all right. It's not a sequel to Tales of Destiny. Because they called it. Let me see if I can just if I know right where it's at and I can show it to y'all. Yes, okay. So they called it, even though it's Tales of Eternia, back in the day when it came out, because the Tales series was not really a thing here, the first Tales game, Tales of Destiny, and then they just released it as Tales of Destiny 2 instead of Tales of Eternia, because they didn't think people would know what the fuck. Jesus, I'm knocking all this shit over. They didn't think people would know what the fuck. It's the same way they changed all the Final Fantasies because they thought they would confuse people, which just made things worse. Let's see, Final Fantasy Resonance. I know they should. This is also on the PlayStation. Here, let me. We'll minimize myself. Boom. So let's see here. Zoom in a touch. Perfect. So we got Final Fantasy Resonance. Okay. I'm just going to talk about this for a minute. I think it looks really cool. But like this is awesome. I wish the game actually looked like that. Like there's no reason the game can't just look like these cutscenes, right? Like the in-game graphics should just always be like that. That shit looks fucking sick. Like these pixelated cutscenes are awesome. Super fucking cool. But there's a couple of red flags for me here. There's apparently the combat features some kind of staggering system, which I don't know about you guys, but I'm a little bit tired of the whole stagger system. I was tired of the staggering shit in Final Fantasy 13. And that was something I didn't like particularly in Octopath Traveler. Like at first, I thought it was kind of cool that you had to use the characters' different weapons and elements and shit to stagger units, but after a while that shit becomes tedious and I don't like it. And I'm curious. I'm still gonna buy the fuck out of this game and play it, you know, but like it looks awesome. But the whole and it was more like talking to my brother. He was like, I don't like stagger systems, and I'm like, I agree. Shit is kind of tired, and it does seem a little lame that it's an HD 2D, and they felt like they had to have a stagger bar just because what? Because Octopath Traveler did? Awesome, that's coming out in October. I was pumped to see it's coming out on the Switch, the regular Switch, I think. One other thing I don't like, and I see Resonance, it gives me Fire Emblem Engage vibes, the whole summoning characters from other games. I don't like that shit, dude. I don't like it. I think it's just like a cheap nostalgia grab. It's a cheap money grab. you're just evoking these older IPs as a cheap way of valuing your game more, I think, instead of letting it stand on its own. Like, that's what made me hate Fire Emblem Engage. Like, why I didn't finish Fire Emblem Engage was because of that bullshit. Like, using the rings to turn yourself into essentially the character or have their abilities and stuff. Like, not only did that make the game cheese, and if you got any of the DLC, it made it completely trivial. I just don't like the way, like, it's never gonna make sense when you pull these characters into another world. It's never gonna make sense. And it's always, it's always gonna be a mess. Like, if you ever went back and played any of the X games, and what I mean by that is, like, I want to see if I just have it right. Yeah, I got it right there. Like, Project X Zone, and then there was Cross X Zone or something like that. I have it for the PS3. I don't want to go and get it right now, but, like, basically it's a game where they mash together characters. Like Super Robot Wars is another one, where they mash together characters from a bunch of different IPs and throw them together in essentially what amounts to a nonsensical story. And if anything, featuring these characters from other worlds, unless they have these characters just only being summoned in battle and just not saying shit. But look at it. It looks like some Fire Emblem Engage shit. You have these characters, like, behind each other. You know, you have, like, Cloud standing behind you. Like, that totally 100% almost seems like the same kind of fucking mechanic as in Engage. So I don't like that. Like, when they have to start evoking characters from other games and they cross over characters from other games, that already makes me feel like the title is weak. But maybe that's just me. I don't get excited for seeing, like, the crossovers. Like, look at this. This shit looks cool right here. Like, that looks gritty. Like, if they would have made, like, if this game was just, like, dark and gritty, and if they got back closer to, like, the steampunk style of Final Fantasy VI, you know, and, like, forbidden technology kind of feels, and leaned into that more darker pixelated style, and fuck summoning characters from the other games, dude. I'm fucking sick of the characters from the other games, dude. Fucking let them be in their own fucking games and just let the fucking dead dogs lie, man. Like, fuck it, dude. I'm so tired of seeing them. Like, I don't want to fucking see the characters from make new characters. I don't need to be able to summon Cloud. I don't need to be able to summon Squall or Tidus or fucking anybody else, dude. It's already enough that it's all the same fucking monsters in every single game. You gotta bring back the same fucking characters every time, too. I like refighting the monsters and shit, because you can have some knowledge across games of how to fight them, but that can be cool. But let's face it, dude. You all have been feeding us the same fucking characters over and over again for decades at this point, and at the same time you turn away from what the legacy fan base wants, and then at the same time you do these cheap nostalgia grabs, but you turn away from the legacy fan base and try to fucking, like, imagine that you're going to get some new group to play your games. They're not interested in your shitty action games, and now you're turning back to the legacy fans for a fucking cheap money grab to get your cash back so you can take another stab at seeing what the fuck Gen Z is interested in. Fuck you, man. Like, they're trying so hard. These legacy characters, nobody gives a fuck about these characters except for fucking people who are 40, dude. And a handful of younger players that you managed to scoop up with Final Fantasy VII Remake. They don't have the balls to make a fucking Final Fantasy 17 HD 2D game, turn-based, make it a whole ass new game. Like, I'm still gonna buy this game just to see, you know, just to see if they fucking, just to see if I'm right, and if they fuck it up, and if it's like a shitty, basically Fire Emblem Engage style situation, but whatever, man. I don't know. I rest my case. Like, this shit's got me a little worked up, but it's like, from my perspective, this is what they've done essentially. They turn their backs on the legacy audience. And I think they started to do that like in Final Fantasy 15 probably. Maybe even arguably in Final Fantasy 14, like, but in Final Fantasy 15, they started turning their back on the legacy audience because they started going, it became less and less a role-playing game. It was more of a fucking action beat 'em up. Because they were trying to make it an everybody game, and these games were never an everybody game. They started out as a fucking niche game, and once they made Final Fantasy VII on the PS1, and they got like fucking success drunk from that game, and they thought they could fucking do anything, and they still do somehow. And like, the problem with it is it was always a niche sort of thing. And now that a lot more of this dork shit has become more mainstream, they should lean into it. This turn-based stuff, because now more people are into D&D than they ever were. More people are into role-playing games than they ever were. You should lean into the turn-based shit because you guys are supposed to be the best at it. Like, you should be making the best turn-based, old-school style role-playing games that look like this. They should look like this and better. Don't evoke all these old characters, man. This shit's so fucking tired. It's so tired. And it just opens this door for this whorish shit where they're going to sell us so much fucking DLC of every imaginable character, dude. It's always bullshit. And even I'm still gonna try it because, like, they know this is what everybody actually wants. And they had to bungle it up somehow, though. I mean, at least the main character's a dude. at least we're there, right? But oh, holy fuck! Summoning other characters, stagger bar. That's 2 strikes against it. I'm not seeing a 3rd strike, so I'll buy it. I'm into it. I like it. I'll do it. But I got some grievances already, so I don't know, man. We'll see. I'm gonna be leery of it. I'm not gonna hold my breath. It is cool that it's coming out like right around my birthday, so that'll be something I can play near my birthday. I don't even want to look at the Xbox fucking shit. I'm gonna take a look here and kind of scroll through the rest of Tales of Eternia. It's like I don't even want to. I think it's just like, I think hopefully they're just releasing the game in its original state, you know? Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything. I'll have to go through this in more detail. I don't really feel like doing it on live right now because I got plenty of other shit to talk about. But probably in my own time, I'll fart around and take a look. As far as the Nintendo Direct goes, the only thing I really give a shit about is Star Fox right now. And let's see here. Xenoblade, dude, I'm not buying the Xenoblade games again. I'm sorry. I don't give a shit about 60 frames. Like, they're not going to entice me with whatever little bullshit they add to these games. These games are too long. I'm probably not. I've played through all 3 of them. I've put over 500 hours into these games. I've beat Xenoblade Chronicles, the original, 3 different times now, from the original Wii to the fucking Switch, you know? I beat Xenoblade Chronicles X twice. I beat the other 2 games. I beat the DLC. I've put like 600, if you include X, I've probably put 1,000 hours into these games. I'm not gonna fucking pay for them again and play back through the first 3 again. This shit, as far as I'm concerned, is not for me. Like, I don't, maybe if I got a Switch 2 and I could just for free get the better editions of each of these games, or for like $10 extra or some shit, but I'm not buying them physically again. I'm not going to buy them for the Switch 2. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to collect these fucking games. I don't care. I already have them. I have the ones I beat. I have the originals. I have multiple copies of some of them already. I'm not gonna buy the same games again. I've fallen for that trick too many times. I am interested in the new Xenoblade. Looks cool. I mean, I'm not gonna say a lot about it right now, but Muramasa, very exciting. I'm not really sure if this is a remake of the original, or if it's a whole new game, or if it's a remake of the original and they just added a bunch of characters. I think that's all that I don't really give a shit about Ocarina of Time remake. Like, we'll see once they give us more information for that, but I don't really fucking care. I'm not gonna like hold my breath for that one either, because I wouldn't be surprised if they made it like a whole ass open world game, which would suck balls, and I'm not interested in. Don't give a shit about Kingdom Hearts. Fuck Disney. Fuck anything Disney adjacent. When the original Kingdom Hearts came out, I remember thinking how lame it was that Squaresoft was working with Disney, and I felt like it hurt the brand even back then. So that goes to show you, I was predicting the future there. Metaphor, who gives a fuck? I couldn't even finish that game. Bored me to tears. Dustbloods, what the fuck ever. Don't give a fuck. Final Fantasy Resonance, okay. RuneScape, whatever. These old RuneScape files might find some interest in that. Xenoblade Genesis, yes. Lives of P, don't care. Lords of Fallen, don't care. Let's see, Jujutsu Kaisen. All the anime games mostly fucking suck. Fire Emblem looks interesting. It doesn't look like they're doing any lame-ass engage shit, although that seems like it's some gladiatorial arena stuff, so I don't know if that... I kind of prefer a, like, open, moving around, tactical game, but I guess if it's a battle arena setup, whatever. That Orbitals game looks kind of interesting, but I don't know, man. I'm not... All the rest of this shit does not strike me at all. Kind of excited about Elliot coming out in a couple weeks here. Elliot's whatever quest, whatever they're calling it. There's another game that's very close to that name. So yeah, besides that, I mean, I'm interested in the Muramasa game. Looks pretty sick. But I mean, I guess this game, I own it on the Vita and I have it on the Wii. It looks like it might be the same game, but there's a lot of new shit, so I'm hoping it's an all-new game. I mean, it looks exactly like... Even the skill tree is almost... I mean, I haven't played it in a minute, but... I do like some of these unusual characters, though. This does look pretty cool. I don't know what this kid is supposed to be. I really hope they're not. Yeah. Rebirth. Legend. What's up? I just saw... Is this like a collection, maybe? Coming out for regular Switch, so that's cool. I still don't have to buy a Switch 2 for most of these games. Yeah, I think, like, as far as with the Switch 2 right now, I still don't have a reason to buy it. Like, Star Fox, Fire Emblem, let's say, that's 2 exclusives, and Xenoblade, Xenoblade, so that's 3. Once we get to 5, I'll buy a Switch 2, so 4 will hopefully be F-Zero, and then 5 will probably be the new Mario game, even though I don't really give a shit about Mario. 5 will probably be Zelda Ocarina of Time. So, who knows? I might still be waiting another year or so to buy a Switch. Let me think here. I'm already over an hour. And I've just gone over pickups. how I feel about female protagonists and also the recent Nintendo Direct here. Let's see. Oh yeah, you know what? The most important pickups, man. I forgot. I'm gonna end the stream with the most important pickups that I almost overlooked. So recently, like back when I bought this Castlevania bundle from a buddy in Atlanta, he insisted that I buy like all of his game stuff together with the Castlevania games. So I was like, all right, I'll do it. And I did it. And you know what? I'll just keep this in the corner playing for funsies while I talk. So I did it. And I ended up with a copy of Silent Hill 3. And just had the manual, didn't have the music CD. And there was a sticker on the manual, so that kind of depleted the value slightly as well. But the damn thing's still worth like $250. So I traded that in because I don't care for the Silent Hill series. I don't have any of the Silent Hill games except I had just that one. That was the only Silent Hill game I had. And I traded that in, and then I kicked in the rest of the cash. And oddly enough, I got a survival horror game that I do like. And I got Resident Evil for the fucking Sega Saturn, which if you know anything about the Sega Saturn, you know that Resident Evil for the Sega Saturn is pretty rare. Not only is it rare to see in the wild in general, but if you go online and you're trying to look for a copy, you can pay upwards to $400 for it. So I ended up getting like $175 from my copy of Silent Hill, which was pretty good. And Resident Evil was $350. So I came out with a pretty good deal on it. But coolest thing about Resident Evil on the Saturn is new monster, new hitting shooting mode available only in this release. And that's completely true still to this day. There's a variant of the hunter monster. It's a tick. And there's a shooting mode, which was basically what I believe to be the rudiments of mercenaries, because you run around killing monsters, they drop items, ammo and shit that you collect, and you basically survive as long as you can while battling waves of monsters as you run around. And yeah, so like as far as I understand it, it basically is like a mercenaries mode. So I'll probably stream some of the gameplay of it, if not a full playthrough of Resident Evil for the Saturn. I just have to like reconfigure things so that my Saturn, I can live stream with my Saturn because it's in the other room. So what I'll probably do, since I use my Steam Deck for all of my live streaming, I'll probably just move the Steam Deck into the other room, and instead of trying to dismantle my entertainment center over there, it'd be easier, honestly, to just move my Steam Deck. So that's the glory of running my whole channel on the Steam Deck. And plus, I want to keep the channel where it's just running on gaming devices. My camera should be better because I just got a new phone. I got like a Google Pixel 10a, so camera should be a bit better than the old one. I could be dual cameraing now though, because I could keep my old phone. Technically, phones are gaming devices, so I'm still doing everything on my channel with just gaming devices. I mean, I suppose the same could be said of computers, so. But whatever. Resident Evil, huge pickup for me. Very happy about that one. And then the other one that's even bigger for me, I traded in my copy of Contra Legacy of War. I got it for $100 in Atlanta. A buddy of mine just came across it in a resale shop. I think it was like the only Saturn game there, and it was just complete. He scooped it up for me for $100, and then it was worth like $350 or something like that. But I didn't have the 3D glasses, whatever. I ended up trading it in. I got like $150 for it. And then I had a loose copy of this game in question that I ended up getting $75 for. So it was like $225. and this game was $325. So I ended up paying basically $100. But I got a complete copy now of Dragon Force, which is like probably my all-time favorite exclusive for the Saturn, next to, tied with, I would say, Panzer Dragoon Saga. So I'm super happy about these recent pickups. I had a couple other pickups too that were random. Like I got Tales of Grace F for like $15 for the PS3. I'm just collecting PS3 RPGs and shit. I got this Revolution X. I bid on it just on a whim because it looked like it was in good shape. I was actually thinking I could just use the fucking case for another one of my games that I care about more. I bid on it. I ended up winning the fucking thing for $10. The game, I saw some people selling it for like 30. I can't imagine it's worth that much, but it'll probably be good for a laugh. I'm gonna definitely pop it in. I might even play it tonight on my own time. Yeah, part of the reason I haven't been streaming as much, I've been busy with work so much. I work almost 6 days a week lately. I had to get things sorted out so I could have some days off. And I know I've been falling off. I lost 1 subscriber again. I was bummed. I was at 92. I had this weird dream where the dream was basically that I was at 92 subscribers. So when I finally got there, I thought something special would happen in real life. Wasn't, nothing. And then I lost that 1 subscriber. I always think it's hilarious when I lose just 1 subscriber. I don't really give a shit. I know down the line, if I keep at it, eventually I'll pick up and get more people, but I have to be more consistent, and it's been tough lately being consistent with work. But I should be having Sunday and Monday off, and I'm gonna be way more pumped once the Neo Geo AES gets here, the AES Plus, and once the Superstation gets here. Superstation for sure, because I'm gonna want to replay through a bunch of PS1 games, get at some backlog PS1 games. I want to play Sega Saturn games on there. I want to start picking up some Sega CD games. There's a copy of Buy Complete down at the game store for only like $120. I'm going to pick that up next. I want to do a playthrough of that. I want to really start focusing on playthroughs on the channel. I want to keep it separate though. Like I want to do live stream chats, and then I want to do playthrough, like play sessions where I just play, no talk. Because like one of the things I'm unable to do right now with the way things are set up is like, I could like hot swap my HDMI to one of my consoles, but it'll always fuck up the audio in some way that I'll have to sit and fuck with it. I can always fix it, but it's just like, it's a pain in the ass to do a hot swap like that. So like, if I'm gonna game on a stream, I have to be playing something like on my Steam Deck. So if I want to play on original hardware, that's something I'm gonna want to set up ahead of time. And eventually, I would like to just make this channel just me gaming, hence Jellord Games. And then I'd probably make a second channel, you know, just Jellord or Jellord Talks. And, or maybe it'd be funny, Jellord Speaks to You, like kind of reference to Zardoz. But yeah, that eventually I'd like to do that. But the thing is if I'm going to do a game stream, I think what I'm going to do is like, I'm going to make it a game stream from the get-go, because like I won't be connected. I have the HDMI plugged right back into my Steam Deck so that I can be recording whatever I'm looking at on my desktop. If I connect to a console, I can't look at shit on the desktop, so it's like not as good for like having an open discussion about shit where I'm able to look things up on the fly or have some tabs ready for videos and stuff like that, or whatever I'm trying to read. So it's like, that's why I want to kind of like separate things into gaming and chatting. And then maybe sometimes at the end of my live streams, I'll do a little bit of gaming if it's something on my Steam Deck, whether it be a ROM of something I already own, most likely, or a fan translation that I can't get a hold of, or it'll be an actual, just a game on Steam. Most likely, I'm probably going to stick to just games on Steam because this is my only way to play Steam games. If I'm going to play other stuff, I'll record it on the respective console hard copy style, because that's what I'm about, you know? Yeah, so those were the big pickups, man. Dragon Force and Resident Evil. I've been playing through Resident Evil. It's been a long time since I played through the original Resident Evil. I started playing through it on the DS, and I didn't get super far with Jill. that's something I'm going to revisit and play through when I circle back to the DS. I go from handheld to handheld. Like right now, I'm usually always playing the Game Boy Color / Game Boy, but I'll swap in and out whatever I'm secondarily gaming on. It'll be like the PSP or the DS or the 3DS or the Neo Geo Pocket. Right now, it's been a lot of PSP and Game Boy Color. I've been playing Pot to Pond because dude, I could not stay in the fever mode in that game to save my goddamn life back in the day. And I finally figured that shit out and figured the rhythm. Because, like, dude, with some of those rhythm games, man, it doesn't matter if you read a strategy guide. That's not going to magically give you the rhythm. The hardest thing is like, you can't hear the Pot to Ponds when the frenzy mode starts. So, like, you just have to take their place when frenzy starts. So it's like pata 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 pon. Usually they'll call back, and you're not supposed to interrupt them. They'll call back the same pattern to you, and then when they're done with their little part of the singing it back to you, then you can start again. You're not supposed to interrupt them. That'll fuck it up. So it's like, but when the frenzy mode starts and they're like, "Wah, fever," like it completely masks the little sounds they make that cue you. So as soon as frenzy mode starts, you just have to, in your own head, you have to be like, pata, 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 pon, and then start your button press. It took me forever to realize that, and it was fucked. But I finally did. And like, I was stuck. I loved those games so much, dude. But I was stuck. You can get them on PlayStation Network for $10 a piece. All 3 of them. I'll have to get the 3rd one because I don't think that one came out physically here. I'm going to have to figure that out if it came out for the PSP physically here. Because I'll definitely play it physically. I had like an unopened, I had a sealed copy I was sitting on of Pot to Pond forever, because sometimes there's just sealed copies of games on Amazon that you can just get for 10 or 15 bucks. There was for a long time. And I would often just find games like that and I'd just sit on them, and that was the case. Nothing is more quintessential to the PSP for me than Pot to Pond, Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, Final Fantasy Dissidia, Final Fantasy Crisis Core. I think those were like and Maverick Hunter X, dude. Like, that was my fucking like PSP definitive experience right there back in the day. Those were my top handheld or handful of games for the PSP at the time. At the time too, I was really broke though when I got my PSP. It was like, I think I bought it off my brother or he gifted it to me. I can't remember which it was. I think I bought it off of him. And I modded it right away, and like I only owned like 2 or 3 games for my PSP for years. It wasn't until recently I started buying them. In the last 4 or 5 years, now I have like what was I think 79, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, like 35 PSP games now. And I mean, I've collected most of those like in the last 2 years probably. So yeah, yeah, I've been playing the shit out of Pot to Pond, but dude, I've been struggling to just like focus on a single game at a time, man. Like, it's like ADD of gaming. I'll be playing, like, I didn't have any problems with Armored Core 4 Answer. I beat that game 3 times in a row before I lost Steam. No, twice in a row before I lost. No, I'm on my 4th playthrough, I think. I can't even remember. I think I'm on my 4th playthrough. Or maybe I beat it twice. Anyway, I beat it twice. If I beat it twice or 3 times, it was back to back to back, and I didn't even notice. But right now, I'm like almost 40 hours into Lufia on the Game Boy Color. Game's amazing. If nothing slightly repetitive, but not enough to piss me off, it's still a fucking awesome game. I am fighting to finish it. Because there's other games I want to get to on the Game Boy Color. Like, I want to start Dragon Quest Monsters, especially with the announcement of the new one. I have the last Dragon Quest Monsters on the Switch, never opened it, man. I have Dragon Quest Monsters Joker on the DS. I played that game for like 10 minutes. It was gifted to me a long time ago. Like, I want to get into the Monsters series, but I want to play the original first and then get my hands on the second one for the Game Boy Color, just because I love the Game Boy Color. Play those before I make my way to getting the newest one. That's one of those games I think I can get it for 30 or 40 bucks a year or two after. My backlog is crazy. Like, what I really need to do is break up my backlog, like break it down by console. I'm hoping once I get the Super Station Plus I want to start with the PS1 and go through some of my backlog of the PS1, as well as like the Sega CD and the Sega Saturn. Although I don't really have much of a backlog for the Saturn now. I do have the fan translation of Dragon Force 2 that I started playing the other day. I've been playing through Baroque. I've been playing through Resident Evil. There's a couple kind of goofy games on the Saturn that I would like to play through. I have Command and Conquer over there. I have a couple of goofy like racing and rail shooters and stuff like that. I do want to eventually finish all my Saturn games. So that is a console, but all the ones that I really want to, like most of the ones that I want to finish now are kind of goofy, goofball. Like I do have a fan translation of all 3 episodes of God, I'm having a brain fart. Shining Force. So there's that. It'd be cool to get the first 2 Shining Force games on the Sega. Something I'll have to work on. I mean, man, that's another thing too. I could just work my way through the NES, the SNES, and the Genesis. I got backlog for every console, dude. So I'm hoping once the Super Station comes, one of the first games I really want to finish in the backlog is Azure Dreams. I would like to just start to finish, do a playthrough of that, and live stream the whole thing. I think that would be awesome. Plus, I love that game, dude. Like, this just has this vibe. It's not even the nostalgia from playing it when I was like a teenager, but it's just like no other, like that's what got me into Mystery Dungeon games, and it just has this whole fucking vibe to it, this feel about it. It's great. I love it. Can't wait to revisit it. I have been a little bit, like, it's awesome that the PS3 plays PS1 games. Probably one of the best things about the PS3 right now as a console that you can retro play, besides the fact that like all the games on it are pretty cheap. There's only a handful of games that are like pricey for it. You can get a lot of RPGs on there cheap, like RPGs that have come out recently as remakes that they're trying to charge full price for. If you still have a PS3, you can get those games for like $15 and they look just fine, dude. I love PS3 graphics personally. There's a certain style to it, I would say. The 3D and everything. But yeah, I guess I went probably longer than I wanted to. I keep I'm gonna have to like pick a different thumbnail for this because I keep thinking I'm gonna talk about the Neo Geo, and then I end up not talking about the Neo Geo, and I don't even know what time it is. 8, almost 9. I suppose we could talk about the Neo Geo a little bit since I don't want to change my thumbnail. So we're gonna do one of these. All right, gang. I'm gonna kind of go through some of the Neo Geo games, and then I'll probably keep going through them in the next live stream. But one of the things that I kind of want to point out about the Neo Geo is there's a lot of ass games, and the majority of the good ones are fighting games. So there's some good shmups. Like Aero Fighters are 2 cool games. Yeah, Aero Fighters is cool. You can play it on emulator, pretty much on anything. You can run it on a damn potato. 90% of these games you can run on a potato, which is also kind of part of the problem of this whole thing. But if they dropped Aero Fighters 2 and 3, I would totally get them. Aggressors of Dark Combat. Let's see, MVS, AES, CD. So we're looking at just all the AES releases here. So we'll ignore the unreleased ones. Aggressors of Dark Combat. Like this looks like another beat 'em up. Oh no, it's like a generic ass looking fighter. Yeah, so I mean, all right, cool. Like, if they release this, I wouldn't give a fuck. I would ignore that game. Free bout count. This looks like it might be cool. It kind of reminds me of Saturday Night Slam Masters, is what it looks like. That's probably what it's a clone of. And that's one of the problem with a lot of Neo Geo and SNK games. Like, at the time, it was pretty much almost all first party shit for SNK. They couldn't get other, like, I don't know what the deal was, but it's like they didn't have Capcom games on the Neo Geo. It was all first party shit. So one of the problems is, and I guess I'll have to look into that more. I guess maybe they just chose to only have first party shit. But like, in my opinion, it kind of hurt the console because they didn't have any of the big titles. So what they ended up doing was like, they just made fucking clones of everything. Their own version, essentially. Like Art of Fighting is an example. That was basically their Street Fighter clone, you know? Andro Dunos is a cool game. I would totally get this if they re-released it. Like, this game is sick. I have the digital version of the sequel on the Switch because that's one of those games they released a sequel to later, which it would be cool. Some of those games that they released sequels to, if they would drop a cart, you know. So Art of Fighting, I would definitely buy Art of Fighting just because that's a game I grew up. My brother and I really like that game on the Super Nintendo. We played it a lot together. Art of Fighting 2, I would totally pick that up. Art of Fighting 3, I would pick those up. Let's see. Mahjong, fuck off. Bang Bead, that's not releasing on. That never released, so I can't imagine. Baseball Stars 2, I don't know, man. I don't really give a shit about the sports games. Like, this looks cool, you know, like, this looks cool, but I don't really give a shit, man. Like, I wouldn't pay $90 for that game. Bomberman Panic didn't come out. That's something I might actually pay $90 for. It'd be cool if they released some of these unreleased games. It's a puzzler. Oh, fuck you. Never mind. Breakers. Is that like another generic ass fighter? Yeah, just another clone fighter. Like, who gives a shit? Breakers Revenge, a sequel, unreleased, who gives a shit? Burning Fight. Let's see what this is. Another, looks like a Final Fight clone. Deluxe Quiz. This looks fucking, okay. What the fuck? I have no idea what that's supposed to be. Crossed Swords. This is one of the major ones that I would really fucking like it if they released it. Like, I have the little Neo Geo mini console, and it's crazy because this thing has 40 games on it, and it has a HDMI out, micro HDMI out, so if you get a converter. But Crossed Swords is on here. Let me see. I want to say Crossed Swords 2 might be on here as well, if I'm not retarded and remembering correctly. No, just Crossed Swords. I don't think they ever translated the second one. I would 100% buy Crossed Swords if it came out. It's basically the closest thing to an RPG on the console. But the way it plays kind of like Super Punch-Out, but you're a swordsman. 8-Man, this would be fucking sick if 8-Man came out for... I would buy this shit. Like, it looks like ass, but I'm a huge 8-Man fan of the original anime and stuff, which is basically like what Mega Man was based on or influenced by. King of Fighters, sure. Fatal Fury 2, sure. Like, I would maybe buy Fatal Fury King of Fighters. I don't know about 2 and 3. I don't know if I would buy them. I don't know if I'd pay $90 for that many iterations of Fatal Fury, you know? Fatal Fury Special I have. It's whatever. I guess it's cool. I don't like that there are different planes that you jump between. That shit's kind of obnoxious. I'd rather just be a 2D fighter. Football Frenzy. This is probably gonna be like that baseball game. Like, the graphics look cool and shit, but I'm not gonna pay $90 for a fucking football game, man. I don't know who will. Goro, Marco the Wolves, like that's already coming. So whatever. Ghost Pilots, I have this on that little mini console. It's basically a 1942 clone. Goal, another fucking soccer, don't give a shit. Some bullshit puzzle. Mahjong, let's see, Ironclad, that was not released. Horizontal scrolling shooter. It's probably sick. Looks kind of sick. It looks like some pre-rendered graphics kind of shit. I don't know. Didn't come out here though. Karnov's Revenge. Oh, Fighter's History. I guess. I mean, whatever, dude. King of Monsters 1 and 2, I would buy those. Last Resort is pretty cool shmup. That was on the mini console. It's cool. I would buy this. I would pretty much buy any of the shmups. League Bowling, I don't know. That's maybe something I'd pick up if I fucking had friends, you know? Let's see. Legend of Joe. This, I mean, maybe if I was interested in getting into like the anime, I'd check it out. But I don't know. I don't think I would fucking spend 90 on that. Magical Drop is cool, man. But it's just another puzzle clone. Magician Lord, we're already getting that. What do we got here? More Mahjong shit. Metal Slug. I wonder if they'll release all of them. I don't know if I'll pay 90 to try to have them all. That's a bit much, man. I don't know if I would. Maybe if they released one each year, I'd maybe buy them. But, like, I don't know. I have Metal Slug X for the PlayStation, but... What is this shit? Baseball? I don't even fucking know, man. Alright. Let me Puzzle Exchanger. Mutant Nation. I was playing Mutant Nation on the mini console. It's another beat 'em up. It's like a lot of these, the SNK ones, it's like you played one, you played them all. They're all decent quality, but like they all look really good. The pixel graphics are awesome and shit. This game's all right. I played it before. I don't know if I would pay 90 for that shit though. Neo Bomberman was not released. Is this actually a Bomberman game? Okay, this would be awesome if they released this shit. I would pay 90 for a Bomberman game. Neo Drift Out Technology, fucking, yeah, they can't do polygons or anything, so most of the racing games are gonna look like that. Neo Mr. Do? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, we're getting Turf Masters. Nightmare in the Dark. This was unreleased. What do we got here? I don't know, these single screen, almost puzzle style platformers. Never was a fan of those. Ninja Combat. Another beat 'em up with a ninja, but you got projectiles. Looks interesting, but characters kind of look goofy. What do we got here? This looks like kind of a Samurai Showdown clone or attempt at making another. Soccer. MVS title. Yeah. Prehistoric Isle 2 would be cool. That's a shmup. Puzzle Bobbles, whatever. It'd be cool if we got Pulse Star. That's also a shmup. It's on that mini console. It's pretty fun. It's kind of like a R-Type clone now. Same with that other shmup I pointed out earlier. Puzzle Bobble, I guess. I mean, those are all, they didn't come out for Neo Geo. Rage of Dragons, is this also, okay. This looks kind of cool, but I don't think I would buy it if they re-release it. Real Bout Tail Fury, whatever, sure. More Robot Army, Riding Hero. This would be kind of cool. It's probably the only decent racing game, I bet. Robot Army is okay. I was playing this the other day. It's alright, but nothing to write home about. Samurai Showdown, I have the original. Second, third, fourth, we're getting the fifth. We'll see. Savage Rain. I think this is another. Okay, so it's a fighter. Similar art of fighting. What I saw there. Sengoku, those are like zombie, if I'm not mistaken, fighting zombies and whatever, beat 'em up style. Shock Troopers are getting Shock Troopers True would be cool. Capcom vs. SNK would be sick. Spin Master. Goofy as hell. Yeah, man. I'm gonna be real, guys. Super Dodgeball. Too bad that didn't get released. That would have been cool. Super Sidekicks. What? Oh my god. Fucking soccer, dude. I made 3 of them, man. King of Fighters. I mean, and this is all shit you can mostly get on like the PlayStation Network for like $7-8. Last Blade and Last Blade 2 would be pretty sick. Top Hunter, Rod and Kathy. This looks... I don't know what the fuck this is. Side-scrolling arcade beat-em-up platform game. It kind of looks a little bit like Metal Slug, but I don't know. You're getting twinkle sprites. Viewpoint would be cool. I mean, I guess. I don't know if I'd pay $90 for it. Considering it was like on the Sega Genesis. This is like looking like the same animator that did the Fatal Fury movie. Looks interesting. I don't know, man. It's like some of these games, it's like, okay, graphics look cool, whatever, but here's my point. Like, there isn't, as far as the game library on Neo Geo, like 90% of it, the shit that's worth an ass is fighting games. And then there's a handful of shmups and a handful of beat 'em ups that stick out. I mean, all the shmups I like because I just love shmups, but I don't particularly like the ones that are like shamelessly clones. And a lot of these other games are like shameless clones of shit that SNK just didn't have an answer to in their game library, you know? And like, they were always good at making really good looking pixel sprites and shit like that, but like a lot of this shit is lame, dude. And it sucks. It's like that initial lineup, God, there's like 2 or 3 games in that lineup that I don't fucking give a shit about at all. So it's like, that kind of sucks. Plus, I hardly ever see people, man, and much less people that I'm ever going to play a fighting game with. So I'm going to play a lot of this shit by myself. I got an arcade in town. They got an SNK machine. I can see what they have on there. And I can maybe get good and maybe play against somebody one time sometime. But chances are I'm not going to play with anybody. I am going to get a projector. I'm going to get a little entertainment center for out my garage because the walls are already painted white. I'm going to set up the little entertainment center with the Neo Geo. And then what I'm thinking I'll do is I'm going to get 2 podiums, like adjustable podiums that you can lock in place, to put the controllers on so you can just still stand and game. like you're at an arcade unit. I think that'd be pretty cool. So that's preliminarily what I'm planning on doing with the Neo Geo. It would be cool if like they were new games, and there are some new indie games, but it's fucking stupid, dude. If you want to get it physically, the games are like $400 for a cartridge. And it's like there's one like Metroidvania coming out that's like a little cartoony looking game that under normal circumstances would look like a $10 indie game on the Switch store. But they're trying to get $400 for it on a big fat cartridge. And that's basically the story across the board for all the indie games that are coming out for the Neo Geo right now. And I mean, these games were coming out before the Neo Geo AES was even announced. So like, I don't know if there's some way for them to maybe partner up through SNK or PlayOn or something where they can make a deal to start manufacturing this stuff more affordably for the fan. Because I would like to be able to buy new Neo Geo games, and I would buy some. It's just that them releasing games from the original lineup does not really entice me that much. There's maybe 4 or 5 games here I would buy, and these are games that I don't even really actually want. I would just be buying them because I want to have games on this fucking $1,000 pile of hardware that I just invested in. So it's like, I'm pretty much picking the lesser of so many shits is what it comes down to. And don't get me wrong, all the fighting games are top tier. And there are a few other top tier games. But like half this library is just throwaway. Clone games, nonsense games, repeat games, fucking puzzle games that are mahjong shit, who gives a fuck. A lot of the shmups are kind of throwaway too. Generic. A lot of the games are generic, and it's obvious what they're trying to copy. So I really hope this doesn't turn into a situation where I just end up with this Neo Geo and the 10 games it came out with. And then I just end up getting nothing else for it. And I just sit on that shit. And it eventually just starts collecting dust, which part of me thinks that's probably what's going to happen. I'm going to like probably end up having to force myself to play the games more. Another thing I don't really like about it is like all the games are truly arcade games. So it's like some of the games, if it's a shmup or a beat 'em up, unless they make you like start over from a checkpoint or restart the level when you die, you can just quarter spam your way through most of these games. So it's like it completely takes away the challenge of it too. Like, so that's one other thing. That's one of the reasons I never particularly liked emulating arcade games, because like they were so much better in real life because you could only play so much and it was your real money. But when you look back and actually realize how predatory the arcades were, I mean, I talked about it a little bit when everybody was gushing about finally being able to play the X-Men arcade game, when in reality that was just an awful predatory game. If you could, that was barely a game if you could call it that, you know, like there's no real strategy to it other than spamming your X-Men move that literally costs you your health bar, which literally costs you money. So if you were a little kid, it literally costs you money to see your favorite X-Men's fucking special mutant power in action. Shit was crazy, and the game was stupid. Like, not a good game. It looked good, looked great. And that was the case with a lot of arcade games. They looked great, but they were just predatory rip-off fucking garbage with minimal mechanics, in terms of mechanics that you could actually get a hold of and like play in a way that seemed fair, let's say. So I don't know. The big games that I'm excited for Magician Lord, because that's actually like, that game was actually made for the Neo Geo and it's not just a port of an arcade game, even though it still plays like an arcade game because basically you have infinite lives, but it makes you start over, sort of, when you get to continue. I don't know. You can pretty much quarter mash your way through that game too for the most part, but whatever. I'm excited for that. I'm excited for the 2 shmups. I think there's 2. And then, I don't know, man. I don't know. Fighting games, whatever. We'll see. I'm really hoping that like indie companies decide they want to make games for the AES Plus, and I'm hoping that who knows, maybe there'll be a company kind of like Incubate that just kind of takes up the mantle of publishing the games, and indie companies can go through them, and hopefully the cap will be at like $90. And I really hope they're not like, I'm so sick and tired of collector's editions of games. Like I don't need fucking Burger King toys and cheap plastic and pieces of paper to come with my fucking copy of a game. It's like, if you're not just gonna give me an instruction manual and maybe a folded up poster, I don't really want anything else. And I shouldn't have to get a deluxe version of a game to get an instruction manual and a small poster. That shit was like automatically came with shit back in the day. What do you know? I mean, still, games are still almost the same price back then. $60 for a new RPG. Some of them were 80, even 90. Crazy bullshit. So yeah, I'm starting to ramble, but I did get through what I wanted to get through, and I stayed on a bit longer. But I did want to just kind of quickly go through the Neo Geo list, just to like give you guys an idea, and to kind of share my frustration with this library of games. And I'm a little trepidatious and worried about like kind of what direction this whole release is going to go in, because like this to me very much seemed like it was going to be a one-off thing for enthusiasts and shit. I don't think that they realized the kind of traction that it was going to get, because if you didn't know, they sold 300,000 units in the first day. And like, I don't even know how many units they've sold at this point. If it was that much in the first day, I'd say they maybe broke 1 million. And put it this way, in the first day, the Switch 2 sold 3 million. So for an old console like this to sell a tenth of what the Switch 2 did on its first day, that's fucking crazy, man. So like 300,000 units out there, man. That, you sell a title, if you can get everybody to buy that game, that's a decent chunk, man. Like, that's a decent chunk, that's a decent user base already. So like, it would be really cool. Like, I wish that we lived in a world where, like, if fucking Capcom started making games for the Neo Geo, if modern companies, like known companies, started just like stepping in and making games for the Neo Geo and treating it like a modern, it would be so fucking cool if modern companies just treated the Neo Geo as if though it was a modern console and just started releasing titles for it. That would be so fucking sick, dude. I wish that I lived in a timeline where they could release an old console and start releasing, like, mainstream game companies start releasing new games for it. That would be so fucking cool. Like if Capcom dropped it. Could you imagine if Capcom put out like King of Dragons, like the arcade version of King of Dragons for the Neo Geo? Or like Knights of the Round. It'd be completely bonkers, dude. Oh my god. If I could live in that timeline. It's so sick. Fucking crazy. Alright, well, I've thus far I've had, oh shit, what kind of crazy bullshit, what have I done? It's madness. No, welcome. Yeah, so I've been going a lot longer than I anticipated to. I had a whole ass 0 viewers this stream, so thanks for joining me, all 0 of you. Let's see if I'm still even speaking. Yeah. That... companies, like known companies, started to... Yeah. Alright, so I think I'm going to call it a night. I got a long ass week of cooking a bunch of shit. But I got through everything I wanted to. I don't have to change my thumbnail now because I didn't get to the Neo Geo shit. I guess long story short, man, I'm not really holding out too hard for more Neo Geo titles or even indie titles. Like it would be cool, but I'm not gonna like pay $400 for games that should be like $10. I'll pay $90, man, for some cool indie titles. Yeah, and it would be sick if they started just releasing games on the Neo Geo the way that the Evercade gets games. Because for me, I think my next console will probably be an Evercade, most likely. Like I saw in Limited Run, they're like releasing a PS5 version of like Legacy of Kain and then Blood Omen Legacy of Kain 2. Like, fuck you, man. I still have my original copies. PS5 games are fucking drink coasters anyway. Like, who knows after that console stops having service if any of the games will even fucking work. So it's like, I don't even want to collect for the PS5. I'll buy games that I actually want to play right now. That's one of those games I'm not gonna play that right away. You know, I have it digitally. I have all of them digitally. I'm not gonna play them right now, right away. And that's one of those games I just buy it. It'll just go on the fucking shelf, man. I'm not gonna play it. And I already have those games on my PS5. It's not a collectible to me. If they released it on the Switch, I'd grab it. I grabbed Soul Reaver 1 and 2 on there, but like if they would have released it on the Switch and it was $35, sure, I'd scoop it up. But it's just on the PS5, fuck that. And I try not to give Limited Run money anymore because like, dude, after Soul Reaver 1 and 2, after a fucking hard copy of it released before Limited, after a regular fucking wide release of it came out on Amazon, then later the Limited Run came out. It's like, what is fucking Limited Run about that, dude? And there's so many games too that they've just dropped physical versions of them after the fact, after Limited Runs had them. So it's like, what's so fucking limited about this anymore? I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm fucking done with it. I'm so over Limited Run, and I'm tired that I can only get certain releases through. It's such bullshit. All right, my lords. I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. I've gone on too long. But anybody who sees this in the future, leave a like if you want. Leave a sub if you want. And I hope you have a lovely evening, afternoon, tomorrow, weekend, week, summer, whatever temporal state you find yourself in. I hope it's good. In any case, yeah, that is gonna be Jellord out, and I guess I'm gonna play my